Have you ever caught a faint, unfamiliar scent and suddenly thought, "Wait, is that me?" It's a moment many women quietly experience, especially as we age, and it's not something we talk about openly. But here's the truth. Your body is not betraying you. In most cases, it's your bathroom habits that are quietly working against you. Yes, even if you shower daily, use expensive soaps, and pride yourself on staying clean, there may be hidden mistakes in your routine that are causing unwanted body odor. And these mistakes? They're surprisingly common among older women and completely fixable. In today's video, we're revealing the 8 most overlooked bathroom habits that doctors say are making senior women smell worse. From towels to toilet lids, you'll discover the subtle choices that sabotage your freshness and simple fixes that will leave you feeling clean, confident, and proud of your hygiene routine. If you care about feeling your best and aging gracefully, don't miss this. And before we dive in, please take a second to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. We bring you practical, science-backed tips to help you live boldly, beautifully, and confidently at every age. If this topic matters to you or someone you love, hit that subscribe button now so you never miss an episode. Ready to feel fresh again? Let's get started. Habit number 1, using too much soap. Down there. Let's start with a habit that many women, myself included, have done with the best of intentions, scrubbing too hard and using too much soap in our intimate areas. For years, I believed that the more I cleaned, the fresher I'd feel. Every morning, I reached for fragrant body washes and floral feminine sprays, thinking I was doing my body a favor. After all, the drugstore shelves are full of products that promise cleanliness and freshness, so it's easy to fall into that trap. But here's what most women don't realize. Our intimate areas are self-regulating systems. The vagina maintains a delicate balance of good bacteria and acidity, usually between pH 3.8 to 4.5, to protect itself. When we introduce harsh soaps, alcohol-based wipes, or overly perfumed products, we disrupt that balance. And the result? Odor, dryness, irritation, even infections. Not because we're dirty, but because we're over-cleaning. I learned this lesson the hard way, after years of discomfort and persistent issues that no amount of scrubbing could fix. It wasn't until a frank conversation with my gynecologist that everything clicked. She explained that the inside of the vagina doesn't need soap at all. It cleans itself. What we need to care for is the vulva, the external area, and that only requires warm water, or at most, a gentle, fragrance-free, pH-balanced cleanser. Also, avoid feminine sprays, douches, and wipes, which often contain irritants. These may offer a temporary, fresh feeling, but often do more harm than good. If you're watching and thinking, "I've done that," you're not alone, and you're not at fault. We weren't taught this properly. So let your body breathe. Trust its natural rhythm. And if something smells truly off, don't reach for more soap. Reach out to your doctor. If you're still watching, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Habit number 2, not washing towels often enough. Let me ask you a quick question. When was the last time you washed your bath towel? If you had to pause and think, you're not alone. I used to believe that towels stayed clean because I only used them after showering. I mean, if my body's clean, how dirty can the towel really get, right? Well, I was wrong. What I didn't realize was that towels absorb far more than just water. Every time you dry off, your towel picks up traces of sweat, dead skin cells, natural oils, and bacteria from your skin, even if you can't see or smell them right away. And when that towel is hung in a warm, steamy bathroom with poor ventilation, it becomes the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, mildew, and even mold. That faint, musty smell that lingers on your skin after a shower, it's not your soap, it's your towel. And worse, those microbes can transfer right back onto your clean skin, undoing all your hygiene efforts. Dermatologists recommend washing bath towels every 3 to 4 uses, and more often if you live in a humid area or your bathroom doesn't dry out easily. I now wash mine every 2 uses and keep a simple rotation system. 1 towel in use, 1 drying, 1 clean and ready. Also make sure your towel dries completely between uses. Don't bunch it up on a hook. Spread it out fully on a towel rack or in a well-ventilated spot. And if you really want to elevate your routine, consider using a small dehumidifier in your bathroom to keep the air dry and bacteria at bay. This one tiny change has made a huge difference. My skin feels cleaner, my bathroom smells fresher, and I've said goodbye to that mystery odor I once couldn't explain. Still with me? If this surprised you, type 2 in the comments. Let's see how many of us were doing this wrong. Habit number 3, ignoring your feet. Let's be honest. When was the last time you truly paid attention to your feet during your shower? Not just letting the water run over them or a quick swipe with a soapy cloth, but actually cleaning them? For years, I didn't. And I paid the price. I used to think, they're not dirty. I've just been home all day in socks. What could possibly be wrong? But the truth is, your feet are one of the most overlooked sources of persistent body odor, especially as we age. Here's why. Our skin changes over time. As we grow older, our body becomes less efficient at naturally shedding dead skin cells. That means more buildup, especially on our feet. Combine that with the fact that your feet have over 250,000 sweat glands, and you've got the perfect storm for odor-causing bacteria to thrive, especially between the toes and around the heels. I started noticing a sour, unpleasant smell coming from my shoes, even on days when I hadn't walked far or broken a sweat. It was embarrassing and confusing. But once I learned the science behind it, everything made sense. Now, I dedicate at least a full minute in the shower to my feet. I gently scrub them with a soft washcloth and mild, fragrance-free soap, making sure to clean between every toe and around the heels. Once a week, I use a pumice stone or foot file to exfoliate dead skin, but I'm careful not to overdo it. Most importantly, I dry my feet thoroughly after every shower. I take an extra moment with a clean towel to make sure there's no moisture left between the toes, because that's where fungus and odor love to hide. On warmer days, or when I wear closed shoes, I sprinkle a bit of antifungal foot powder into my socks. Since changing my routine, not only has the odor disappeared, but my feet feel healthier, smoother, and more comfortable every day. Are your feet part of your daily hygiene? Or are they an afterthought? Let me know in the comments. Just type yes if you've ever neglected them too. Habit number 4, leaving the toilet lid open. When flushing. At first, it might sound silly, like one of those quirky facts you'd see in a trivia book. But trust me, once you know what actually happens when you flush with the toilet lid open, you'll never look at your bathroom the same way again. It's called a toilet plume. Every time you flush with the lid up, tiny droplets, some invisible to the eye, shoot up into the air, carrying with them everything from bacteria to viruses to microscopic bits of whatever was just in that bowl. These droplets can travel up to 6 feet and remain suspended in the air for several minutes. Now picture this: your toothbrush sitting right next to the toilet, your face towel hanging nearby, your makeup brushes, your skincare bottles, all quietly getting misted with these particles every time you flush without closing the lid. And it doesn't stop there. If you're standing nearby when you flush, some of those particles can even land on your skin or be inhaled. In a space meant for cleanliness, that's a silent hygiene saboteur we don't think about nearly enough. What's worse is that if your bathroom is already humid or has poor ventilation, these germs don't just disappear. They settle on every surface, creating subtle odors that linger even when everything looks clean. The fix? Close the lid before you flush. That's it. This tiny habit takes 1 second and makes a huge difference. Since I adopted this change, I've noticed a fresher-smelling bathroom and peace of mind, knowing I'm not unknowingly misting my personal items with toilet water. It's a simple act of respect for yourself and for anyone else who uses your bathroom. Did you already know about toilet plumes, or is this your first time hearing it? Comment, "I had no idea," if this surprised you. I'd love to know how many of us just learned something new. Habit number 5. Wearing the same underwear to bed. It's been a long day. You've changed into your favorite pajamas, dimmed the lights, and you're just about to crawl into bed. You pause for a moment, thinking, "Do I really need to change my underwear? I haven't even broken a sweat today." Sounds familiar? This tiny decision, often made out of comfort or convenience, might be quietly impacting your hygiene more than you realize. Throughout the day, even if we're not physically active, our bodies naturally produce sweat, oil, and shed dead skin cells. All of this gets absorbed into our underwear. Add in a bit of moisture, and you've created a warm, enclosed environment where bacteria thrive. Now, imagine sleeping 7 to 8 hours with that same underwear pressed against your skin. That gives odor-causing microbes plenty of time to multiply. And if you're wearing synthetic fabrics like polyester or spandex, which trap heat and moisture, it only makes things worse. The result? You may wake up feeling less fresh, with lingering odors or even irritation in sensitive areas. The fix, though, is simple and surprisingly luxurious. Doctors and dermatologists recommend changing into a fresh, clean pair of underwear before bed. Even better, opt for breathable natural fabrics like cotton, which allow airflow and help wick moisture away. And if you're comfortable with it, consider going commando. Yes, sleeping without underwear. It gives your skin time to breathe, reduces friction, and helps prevent irritation or bacterial overgrowth. Since I made this switch, my mornings feel cleaner, my skin is calmer, and honestly, it just feels good. Like I'm giving my body permission to rest and reset overnight. It's a small act of self-care that brings big benefits. Have you ever slept in the same underwear from day to night? Be honest and type "yes" in the comments. Let's see how many of us are learning to break this habit together. Habit number 6. Not cleaning the trash bin in the bathroom. Let's be honest, how often do you actually clean your bathroom trash bin? Not just empty it, but really clean it? For years, I didn't give mine a second thought. Like many people, I had a small lidded bin tucked next to the toilet. I'd toss in used tissues, cotton swabs, empty packaging, and the occasional hygiene product. When it looked full, I'd take out the bag, replace it, and move on. What I didn't realize was that this innocent-looking bin was slowly becoming a source of subtle, unpleasant odors in my bathroom. Here's why. Even small bits of organic material, damp tissue, a used makeup wipe, or a cotton pad with leftover product can introduce moisture and bacteria into the bin. And with that lid trapping everything inside, it creates a warm, humid microclimate where bacteria and mold thrive. Over time, those smells build up and begin to seep into the air, no matter how often you scrub the sink or mop the floor. That "something doesn't smell quite right" feeling. It might be your trash can talking. Thankfully, the fix is simple and only takes a few minutes a week. Now, I make it a habit to empty the bin every few days, regardless of how full it looks. Once a week, I give it a proper wipe down with a disinfectant spray or a vinegar-based cleaner. To go the extra mile, I sprinkle a little baking soda or add a few drops of essential oil in the bottom to neutralize odors. Since adding this step to my routine, my bathroom feels fresher, cleaner, and more pleasant, even first thing in the morning. And it's one of those details that guests notice too, even if they don't say it out loud. So tell me, when was the last time you cleaned your bathroom trash bin? Be honest. Comment, "Oops," if this is something you've overlooked too. Habit number 7, using old or unwashed bathrobes. There's something incredibly comforting about wrapping yourself in a cozy bathrobe after a hot shower. It's like a soft hug, the final touch in your self-care routine. But here's the question most of us rarely ask. When was the last time you washed that bathrobe? If you had to pause and think, you're not alone. I used to reach for my favorite robe every day, never questioning its freshness. After all, I'd only put it on after getting clean. So how dirty could it be? The answer? Dirtier than you think. Right after a shower, your skin is still damp. When you wrap yourself in a robe, that moisture transfers to the fabric. If the robe isn't washed regularly or hung in a well-ventilated space, it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, mold, and mildew. Over time, the fibers trap these microbes, and a subtle musty smell begins to cling, not just to the robe, but to your freshly washed skin as well. It's sneaky. You may not notice it right away, but after a while, you might find yourself catching a faint odor and wondering where it's coming from. The fix? Start treating your bathrobe like a towel. Wash it at least once a week and make sure it's hung to dry in a spot with good airflow, not crumpled on a hook behind the door. If you can, invest in a second robe to rotate between washes. It makes the process easier and more consistent. Since making this change, I've noticed a big difference. My robe smells like clean laundry, fresh, soft, and inviting. And I no longer question whether that odd scent is coming from me or my bathrobe. If this is something you've been overlooking, don't worry. You're not alone. Type "guilty" in the comments if you've gone more than a week without washing your robe. Let's be real with each other. Habit number 8. Shaving your underarms without properly cleaning. For years, I thought shaving my underarms was the final step in staying fresh and clean. Fewer hairs meant fewer places for sweat and odor to hide, right? Well, sort of. The truth is, shaving is only half the story. And skipping the second half can leave you wondering why you still struggle with underarm odor, even right after a shower. When you shave, your razor doesn't just remove hair. It also acts like a mild exfoliant, scraping away dead skin cells, residual deodorant, and yes, some of the bacteria that naturally live on your skin. That's not a bad thing. But it also means your skin is temporarily more sensitive and more prone to irritation, trapped sweat, or even small nicks you may not see. Here's the problem. If you don't rinse thoroughly and clean the area gently afterward, all those loosened particles and bacteria can linger. The result? A faint sour smell that sticks around, no matter how often you shave. Worse, over time, this can lead to clogged pores, inflammation, or even infection in some cases. So what's the fix? Right after shaving, rinse your underarms thoroughly with warm water, then gently wipe the area with a clean, soft washcloth. Don't scrub harshly. Your skin has just been exfoliated. A light cleanse will remove leftover debris and bacteria without irritating your skin. And here's a bonus tip. Avoid applying deodorant immediately after shaving. Give your skin a few minutes to settle. or choose an alcohol-free, sensitive formula. Since adding this step to my routine, I've noticed a big difference. That lingering odor? Gone. And my underarms feel smoother, cleaner, and more balanced throughout the day. If you've ever shaved and still felt less than fresh, comment "Me too" below, because small tweaks like this make a world of difference. Conclusion: small changes, big confidence. Let's take a moment to reflect. None of the habits we talked about today come from laziness or neglect. In fact, most of them come from a desire to feel clean, comfortable, and confident. But sometimes, the habits we pick up over the years, habits no one ever really talks about, can quietly work against us. The truth is, your body isn't the problem. Your habits might just need a gentle update. From overusing soap to forgetting the towel rotation, letting your trash bin linger too long, or skipping that final step after shaving. Each one of these small choices can affect how we feel in our skin. The good news? Every one of them is fixable. And none of them require expensive products or drastic changes. Just awareness and a little more intention. Because you deserve to feel fresh. You deserve to feel good in your body. And most of all, you deserve to walk through life with quiet confidence, knowing that your hygiene routine is working with your body, not against it. If you found even one of these tips helpful today, please consider subscribing to this channel. We're building a community of wise, strong, self-caring women who know that age is never a reason to stop learning or evolving. And if you're still here with me, I'd love to hear from you. Comment "Still watching" below, and let me know which habit you're planning to change first. You are not alone, and you are never too old to feel fresh, radiant, and beautifully you.